So let's start with President Trump's latest comments on North Korea. Trump says he's the one calling the shots on the crisis, and though he may listen to his aides and cabinet members, the ultimate decision lies solely with him. This comes amid signs of disagreement on North Korea policy within the White House, with the president saying the pursuit of dialogue with Pyongyang is a waste of time. Yoo Jun-hee starts us off.
Thank you all very much. I very much appreciate. We're here with a man who has become a friend of mine, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mrs. Trudeau. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we are discussing many things, including NAFTA, but we have discussions scheduled for quite a few subjects. And I think we both look very much forward. And I want to just tell you, Jeff, it's a great honor to have you both with us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great to be back here in the Oval Office. As the President said, a lot of things to discuss. We have an incredibly close relationship with two countries that are interwoven in our economies, in our cultures, in our peoples. But we have a good partnership, and there's always ways to improve it, always issues we need to talk through, and that's why having an ongoing constructive relationship between the President and the Prime Minister is really important, and I'm glad to be able to meet with you here again today. Merci beaucoup.
L'ambiance est bonne, Monsieur Trudeau?
Toujours bien de se rencontrer avec des alliés et des amis.
Mr. President, is NAFTA dead?
We'll see what happens. We have a tough negotiation, and it's something that you will know in the not too distant future, but we are going to be discussing NAFTA, and we'll be discussing defense, because we have a great, these are truly great and original allies, and mutual defense is very important. And I guess we'll also be discussing mutual offense, which people don't mention too often, but offense is part of defense. So we have many things to talk about, but NAFTA will certainly be a big factor today. Okay?
So you want to rise the nuclear arsenal?
No, I never discussed increasing it. I want it in perfect shape. That was just fake news by NBC, which gives a lot of fake news lately. No, I never discussed. I think somebody said I want 10 times the nuclear weapons that we have right now. Right now we have so many nuclear weapons. I want them in perfect condition, perfect shape. That's the only thing I've ever discussed. General Mattis put out a statement, or is putting out a statement, saying that that was fake news, that it was just mentioned that way, and it's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write, and people should look into it. No, I want to have absolutely perfectly maintained, which we are in the process of doing, nuclear force, but when they said I want 10 times what we have right now, it's totally unnecessary, believe me, because I know what we have right now.
You want no increase whatsoever? You're happy with
We won't need an increase, but I want modernization and I want total rehabilitation. It's got to be in tip-top shape.
Mr. Trump, you said that NAFTA was just needed for the Middle East. What changed?
Well, I don't think anything changed. We're negotiating a NAFTA deal. It's time after all of these years, and we'll see what happens. It's possible we won't be able to make a deal, and it's possible that we will. We have a great personal relationship, and we have a relationship now as two countries, I think that's as close as ever. But we'll see if we can do the kind of changes that we need. We have to protect our workers, and in all fairness, the Prime Minister wants to protect Canada and his people also. So we'll see what happens with NAFTA. But I've been opposed to NAFTA for a long time in terms of the fairness of NAFTA. I said we'll renegotiate. And I think Justin understands this. If we can't make a deal, it'll be terminated, and that'll be fun. They're going to do well, we're going to do well. But maybe that won't be necessary. But it has to be fair to both countries.
Mr. President, do you think there should be limits on what the press should write?
No, the press should speak more honestly. I've seen tremendously dishonest press. It's not even a question of distortion, like the question that was just asked before about 10 times the nuclear capability. I know the capability that we have. Believe me, and it is awesome. It is massive. And so when they make up stories like that, that's just made up. And the generals will tell you that. And then they have their sources that don't exist. In my opinion, they don't exist. They make up the sources. There are no sources. Any other question?
Decide what happens to NAFTA.
We'll decide over the next fairly short period of time, but I think it's going to work out very well for both countries and Mexico.
What's your thinking on the Iran deal right now?
You're going to see very soon. We're going to be announcing that very shortly.
Would you
You
rather
can't make a
see
deal with Mexico, but you still want free trade with Canada.
What?
You can't make a deal with Mexico, so you envision still having free trade with Canada.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. It's possible we won't be able to reach a deal with one or the other. But in the meantime, we'll make a deal with one. But I think we have a chance to do something very creative that's good for Canada, Mexico, and the United
So do
States.
you want to see how you survive?
How was your lunch with Secretary Tillerson?
Very good.
Full confidence?
You mean last week?
Yeah, do you have-
John, you're so far behind the times. You mean today or last week? Because today I didn't have lunch with him. No, I had a lunch last week, and we had a very good lunch. We have a very good relationship. The press really doesn't understand that, but that's okay. We actually have a very good relationship.
Are you on the same
What else?
page on North Korea?
I think I have a little bit different attitude on North Korea than other people might have.
Your secretary?
And I listen to everybody, but ultimately, my attitude is the one that matters, isn't it? That's the way it works. That's the way the system is. But I think I might have a somewhat different attitude and a different way than other people. I think perhaps I feel stronger and tougher on that subject than other people. But I listen to everybody, and ultimately, I will do what's right for the United States and really what's right for the world, because that's really a world problem. That's beyond just the United States. That's a world problem, and it's a problem that has to be solved. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
If NAFTA doesn't work out, would you negotiate with both countries individually? If NAFTA doesn't work out, can you see a deal with each individual country?
Yes, I would see that, yes.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
President Trump has admitted his views on North Korea are stronger and tougher than those around him, but made clear he is in charge of making the final decision. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office on Wednesday, where he was meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Trump said he will do what is right for the United States and the rest of the world.
I think I have a little bit different attitude on North Korea than other people might have. And I listen to everybody, but ultimately, my attitude is the one that matters, isn't it?
This comes amid reports of a growing rift within the Trump administration on how to deal with North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile developments. While State Secretary Rex Tillerson and Defense Secretary James Mattis have called for a diplomatic solution while keeping military options in the back pocket, Trump has continually rejected the possibility of reopening talks with Pyongyang. Earlier this month, Trump posted a series of tweets that some say undermined his top diplomat's efforts to negotiate with the Kim Jong-un regime. Soon after, reports emerged that Tillerson had called the president a moron and was considering whether to resign, claims that were later denied by the State Department. NBC News also reported on Wednesday that President Trump had asked for a massive expansion of Washington's nuclear arsenal, a story that Pentagon Chief Mattis has described as absolutely false and irresponsible. Trump blasted the media outlet on Twitter and threatened to revoke its broadcasting license if it continues to propagate fake news.
The head of U.S. forces based in Okinawa has grounded all CH-53 helicopters for 96 hours. The order comes after one of the aircraft caught fire and made an emergency landing Wednesday evening. As NHK World's Noriko Okada reports, people in the prefecture have had enough of accidents involving American military aircraft.
It's a frightening scene. A helicopter fully engulfed in flames, burning in an empty field. Now just imagine that empty field belongs to you and the blaze is only a couple hundred meters from your home. That's exactly the situation Akira Nishime found himself in on Wednesday evening.
I hurried into the house, seeing the smoke near the accident site. I could have gotten hurt.
The accident involved a U.S. Marine CH-53 helicopter. A fire began on board and the chopper made an emergency landing near a U.S. military training area. Luckily, no one was hurt. People in Okinawa have long called for a reduced American military presence in the prefecture and say they are frustrated with repeated accidents. The same model of helicopter crashed on a university campus in 2004, injuring 3 crew members. Last year, a U.S. Osprey crash-landed in shallow waters off the coast of Okinawa. And last month, an Osprey made an emergency landing after it was leaking oil. Local residents say enough is enough.
We're fed up with going through the same thing over and over.
I want the US to take measures to prevent similar accidents in the future.
Nishime is still coming to grips with what happened just outside his front door.
Most Okinawans have been protesting against the US military bases. I feel like the issue has really hit home for me.
Despite the US military's decision to stop flying this type of helicopter, the broader calls for the US to scale down its presence in Okinawa are not likely going away. Audio Jungle.